My piece, Let's Go to the Top Together. That's a movement that I started, and you're going to learn a little bit more about it. Before I start, I want to start off with the actual story that actually happened a couple of days ago. So I run a marketing distribution business, and I just created these wristbands, and basically they're for the new year, and I haven't started selling them yet. And it says, Let's Go to the Top Together 2017. Every day I wake up, I say, greatest day of my life, that's on there. And then like on the inside, it says some other stuff, right? And so basically, I interact with the customers at Starbucks a lot. I work at Starbucks. And there's a lady, she comes in there every day, and she's always, pretty happy. And so the other day, she came in, and she was really down. And she was pretty sad. And she's a older lady. Well, not older, but she's a mid-aged woman. And she works at Bank of America, and I really like her. And she came in, and I was like, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? She was like, well, I'm glad you asked. Got some things going on. And, we began to talk about different things. I said, listen. And these are supposed to be only for sale. I just have one for myself, that I keep, and I really didn't want to do it. But then I was like, okay, let me tell you about Let's Go to the Top Together. And then so I gave her my bracelet, and then she came in the other day. She was like, I thank you for that. It's on my desk and everything. I feel like everything's better and everything like that. And so I just really felt great. Like I felt the internal greatness. Like that's what true success is. And that's actually what I'm going to talk about. What success truly is. All right. I'm not going to be before you guys long. But I do ask that in this time that I'm with you is that you open up your mind to understand where I'm coming from, understand the communication that I'm portraying to you. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, let's see. I believe that it is my responsibility to truly live out the vision of Let's Go to the Top Together. Now, before we talk about what it is, Let's Go to the Top Together, it talks about wealth. So we're going to get a little interactive here, and we're going to talk about what does it mean to be wealthy, guys? And you can answer.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I would say wealthy is being able to provide for yourself and actually give back to what you believe in or what you feel like you need to do in life.
All right. You said give back also. I like that. Anybody else? All right.
Be happy, man.
Happy. Okay, got you. So Forbes classification of the wealthy 1%, we all know about the 1%, right? Forbes classification of the 1% is that it's anybody making more than $394,000 a year. Now, the Bible enforces the idea that wealth is created through the liberation of poverty. And poverty, we must understand, poverty is not a financial situation or a circumstance. Poverty is a state of mind. The money only follows where your mind is. So poverty is the lack of. If you have the lack of wealth in your mind, you cannot produce wealth in monetary units. That's what poverty is. It starts here in the mind. Now, I've studied some of the most, I guess you could say, community-driven, successful people. Warren Buffett. I've studied some of the most selfish people, successful people. And there's a lot of pros and cons to the different ones. So the community-driven, they focus on giving back, like you said. And some of the selfish ones, they focus on getting more so they can make more money for themselves, right? But there's a fundamental flaw within both. Obviously the selfish part, but there's a fundamental flaw with it, just the giving back. And what I believe is that because there's a fundamental flaw with that, because you're giving back, but there's a gap between influence there. And that gap is you're not actually liberating from poverty. You give a poverty-minded person $1 million, that does not make them wealthy. They will spend it again. As you know, all the people that hit the lottery, what happens? Where did they end up? They were still broke in the mind. That's what the problem was. So I would say giving back, that is an aspect, but there's a fundamental flaw with that of only giving back. Why can't we focus on bringing others to the top together with us? Is there a problem with the American dream? Who knows? But as I said before, it is my responsibility to take others along the journey with me to success. I would say I got another story. All right, there's a man a little bit more than 2,000 years ago. He was on a mission to change the world and create history. Some of you might know this, some of you not. So he decided to bring others along his path with him. And on his mission, he began to gather people, and he called them disciples. Now, at that moment, that man hadn't died and did what he did. That man was just a carpenter. He was only a carpenter. He was not some Forbes richest 500 off the Forbes 500 list. And he didn't come and say, hey, let me give back, let me give you $1 million. He was a carpenter. So think about in these days, a plumber comes up to you and says, hey, leave JWU, come follow me. How many of us would do that? Huh? All right. Now, that's right there. That shows the come follow me, right? He said they were fishermen. They were fishing for fish. He obviously said, I will come and I will make you fisher of men. Come on the journey with me. Let's follow me. Let's go together to the top. Now, I'm going to go to the top. Let's see who can go to the top first, and then I'll give some money back to you. I think it's better. The influence is higher, and that people go higher and farther to new heights when we go together, right? Another story with that same man, some time later, he's got these 12 disciples that we just talked about, and he needed to liberate some people from poverty, and they were hungry people, hungry in the multitude. And there was a young boy that had lunch, and he had 5 loaves and 2 fish. And what he needed to do was that he needed to liberate those people from poverty. Not feed them, because you feed a man for a day, he'll eat, or you feed a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So he didn't just say, let me feed them. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the top together. This young lad that's got the food, let's go to the top together. I'm going to multiply that. I'm going to create a miracle right here. Some of you know what I'm talking about, some of you don't. But that's okay, as long as we understand that what he did is that, hey, we're going to go to the top together. So now 2,000 years later, we're still talking about that same young lad, that same man, and those same disciples that were there that fed the multitude. And the multitude people, they're written in the books. That sounds like going to the top together to me. Not just a simple, let me just give you some money, let me give back. Which is nothing wrong with it. I just believe there's a fundamental way that can make it a lot more efficient. That's all it is. Now, the thing is that with him having all that power, he could have easily just said, hey, Father, take care of these people. Father, just do this. But no, he wanted to go to the top together with the people. Now, I am called to a people to be the key to your door of wealth. First, I must liberate my mind of the dogma of what success is here in America. That's the first point. Next, I must go on a mission to liberate those that are willing to go to the top with me. Then, it is my responsibility to not only free you from poverty in the mindset, but to also hold you accountable to go and inspire someone else to do the same. There's a direct correlation with the money I make and the people I impact. The more money, the more people I can take to the top, then the more money I can make. But first, it all starts here in the mind, in liberating myself, then liberating others, having those others stand accountable for those others to liberate. And I would do so with that philosophy, let's go to the top together. Lastly, all who's willing, let's go. Thank you for your time, and let's go to the top together. This time.